Now, speaking of something else I've given up on, Chris, you have seen the end of Moon Knight, and it seems like we've been watching this show now for months, but
so you gave up on Moon Knight?
I gave up on Moon Knight. For me, it wasn't so much that I got bored with it, like say Obi-Wan, or that I had a particular problem with it. It was just, again, you've got snippets of action, and then it's like, talk about it for a half hour. Not to the point that Obi-Wan did, but still, I just got bored with it and moved on. So I'm not actively hating Moon Knight. Maybe I'll watch it sometime, but it would be. But again, we'd have it on like a 3, where I'd watch it on someone else's account. Anyway, so Chris, you got to see the final episodes of Moon Knight. What do you have to say about this?
I'll make this real short because I honestly can't really remember too much.
That was how memorable that. Now,
no.
That is precisely what happens when you tell and don't show.
No. I was busy trying to do something else while trying to watch.
Yeah, you were trying to use the bathroom while they had this.
No, it was a good episode. It was really, really good because like Ethan Hawke's character finally gets his way and brings one of the gods out, and I don't remember her name, but she's like this gigantic alligator, and it was so cool. Like, it was like amazingly cool. And so she's like, you are my followers, we're going to do this and this. And Ethan Hawke's like, yes, yes ma'am, let's do it. And at the same time, like, Moon Knight is stuck in limbo, coming back, or is on his way of coming back, and either way, I will tell you, there's this really awesome fight scene between Moon Knight, Ethan Hawke's character, and the female Moon Knight's wife. I think.
Girlfriend, whatever she is.
There's this huge fight scene between all of them, and the great part is that in the background on this gigantic scale, you have the crocodile woman and whatever what is the skeleton god, whatever his name is.
Khufu or whatever his name was.
They're fighting.
Mushu pork, yeah.
They're fighting, but the great thing is that they're as giant. They're like bigger than the pyramids, and they're fighting next to the pyramids.
Yeah. And
you can actually see them in a far distance, them fighting while you see a Moon Knight fight. And nobody sees this giant, huge god battle, but it was so amazing. I loved it. I still like Moon Knight. It's freaking awesome. So I'll leave that there.
Overall, do you think Moon Knight was a net negative or a net positive for Disney Plus?
I think it's a positive because it was. I think I like Moon Knight because you got Egyptian gods. It's kind of like Batman in some, in a little bit of a way. And I love the psychological, the battle between him and this character that he made up to protect him from bad stuff in the past. And he has a life of his own now, so it's like transform. It's just, I love it.
It sounds interesting. I'll probably try to give it another try. So, final say 1 to 5 for a streaming service. Is it worth?
5.
You give it a 5. So you'd call it a selling point. Would you put it up there with the Baby Yoda show?
Yes,
Mandalorian?
actually.
You actually would.
The only shows that I would have to say of Disney Plus in the last few years, you get the Mandalorian. I kind of want to put WandaVision in there because it did get really, really awesome, I thought. And then Moon Knight.
Well, you tended to have a better opinion of WandaVision than most folks did.
I
Basically,
mean, it
because
took a while to get there, but when it did get there, I'm like,
you've also got a bit, you've also got a bit of a prejudice
Excuse me.
because you like filmmaking, you like film production, and,
yes, I
and
like,
behind the scenes stuff. So you like the idea of the
yes.
interesting visuals and stuff. So yeah. So all in all, when it comes to Moon Knight, yes, I would go ahead and give it another try. Maybe at some point I will if I get bored enough, but not right now. That's it. But I probably would have to go back and watch it from the beginning and probably skip over a good deal of it. That does bring up a point, though. Again, I got bored with it because I couldn't see which direction they were going in. WandaVision suffered the same problem. Okay, it seemed like it was disjointed at first because each episode
Yeah.
was taking a different format and it was throwing people off because they didn't see the conceit. Filmmakers, storytellers, if you have a conceit, okay, and a conceit again like WandaVision, each episode's a different style of TV show, a different style type of sitcom. Moon Knight, you've got all these psychological things running underneath it. If you've got conceits that are going to make for a nice reveal towards the end of your project, especially if it's not a movie, if it's a limited series or if it's a show or something that has more than one episode, you need to start dropping hints immediately, right from the beginning. Let people know, hey, there's something going on here. This isn't quite right, but here's a little hint to let you know there's something you need to keep an eye on for. It's going to get a little weird, okay?
Yeah.
If you do that, your audience, like me, okay, I'm more of a casual audience than you are at this point. I'm still a borderline geek, but not the geek you are. If you're going to keep the casual audience, you are going to have to throw them at least a hint that there's a reason to stick around. Because if you don't, guess what? We ain't. So,
See, I mean, like Moon Knight to me, the writing is just, to me, is just so brilliant because it's like the way it starts out. You're meeting Steven, who's like this nerd, who is like not, you know, he's not the best in the world, you know, and then you meet Mark, the one who changes into Moon Knight, and then it gets to that point where it gets like, oh, wait a minute. So all this time, Steven's the fake one. Mark
Spoilers.
is actually the real one.
spoiler alert.
And it's like Mark made up Steven because Steven was the cover up because when he was a kid, he lost his brother, and his mom blamed him for the death of his brother, and went on a drunken spree and started beating him with a belt and calling him worthless and stuff like that. And he made up Steven to take all the abuse while Mark stood in the shadows hidden. But Mark was actually the real deal.
Mhm.
And then you have that story with great acting, because I'm sorry, that dude deserves an Academy Award for sure. And you have the Egyptian gods and the powers behind that, and it's just like, wow, there's a lot here, but I love it. So yeah.
Okay. So we finally got through our reviews. We are off and running here. All right, Chris,
Yes.
what have you got for me as far as the newsish type stuff? We are 46 minutes into our podcast here. We need news. We need to cover the news. We need to cover it quickly, but fortunately, he said not much happened this week. So, let's get it on. What's your-
Well, sadly, actor Ray Liotta passed away at the age of 67.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I think even Robert De Niro got caught flat-footed by that one. But
Ray has done. He's done a ton of movies. He's mostly well known for his role in Goodfellas, Field of Dreams, and much, much more. I will have to say my favorite movie with Ray Liotta to this day is Operation Dumbo Drop, which is on Disney Plus. If you guys want to watch it, it is a great movie.
that's because you're a geek.
No.
What's next?
It has been confirmed that a national treasure 3 is happening on Disney Plus. Apparently, Nicolas Cage will be coming back to reprise his role as what's his name, Nathan?
Whatever his name is. Yeah. He's not the national treasure, by the way. But
well, to a lot of people.
That would be Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is national treasure. But anyway.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If I had to reach into a burning building and pull somebody out, I'd pull Clint Eastwood over Nicolas Cage, for crying out loud. Besides, he used to be a Ghost Rider. He can laugh it off. Anyway, what's else?
So we're just going to move along.
Yes, let's just move right along.
All right.
I try to keep these under 60 if I can, but
The Rock says that you can expect a trailer from Black Adam this June.
Yeah, I can take that.
So, yeah, this coming month we will be getting a Black Adam trailer.
I am holding out hope for that one because I'm hoping that Rock doesn't get too rock in this and actually takes this, because we've had this discussion before. When it comes to movie roles, Dwayne Johnson plays The Rock in almost everything he's in.
Yeah.
He needs to, if he's going to play The Rock, he needs to play badass, mean, take no guff from nobody Rock that he was when people were chanting "Die Rocky Die" about the beginning of his career. Better yet, he needs to actually study his source material and become an actor instead of just being some form of The Rock. So, we'll see what happens there. But I am holding out hope for it. Then again, I was holding out hope for Stargirl too, and I kind of lost my way on that one. So, moving on. What else we got?
I know you don't care about this one. This one is just purely for me.
Geek.
Pauly Shore says that Disney Plus is talking about a Encino Man 2 movie. So,
okay. Now, if anybody needed any proof at all that Disney is now officially creatively bankrupt, there it is. Exhibit number 1, right there. That ought to get the rat the chair.
But we would get Brendan Fraser back.
Not worth it. Not worth it.
We still need
Weasel. You know what? We still need to get Brendan Fraser together with the Chin at some point, and Sam Raimi, and just go to town on what would we put those three in? Bruce Campbell, Brendan Fraser on a Sam Raimi project. It would have to be Evil Dead 4. Or here's an idea. Redo the Wolfman. No. Here we go. Even better. Let's redo Creature from the Black Lagoon, but Bruce Campbell has to be the creature, and he doesn't have the little gill face mask on.
So you want it to be like a comedy?
It's got Brendan Fraser and Bruce Campbell in it. It's going to be a comedy.
So like Brendan Fraser's like the town cop or sheriff or whatever, and he's trying to figure out like what's happening to all these people, and then he meets the creature from the Black Lagoon, and he has Bruce Campbell's voice, and he's like, dude, I just like looking for a donut or something, and he's like, oh, but what about the other people? And it's like, they promised me things.
Well, you see, you sold me on it when you said donut.
I thought they could breathe underwater. I don't know how this works.
You sold me on it once you said donut. By the way, folks, if you're ever up near Cincinnati, by all means, head on up to the Butler County Donut Trail. There's 13 donut shops in Butler County, which is just north of Cincinnati and Hamilton County. And if you can go to at least 12 of the 13 shops and get the stamps on your little donut passport, you get a free T-shirt that says, I eat donuts a lot. By golly, that's fun. Anyway, Anywho, what else you got, Chris? You got to be running out of stuff by now, right?
You know, with this story here, I
want to see if this story is my story, because I've got one story. But go ahead.
This story kind of makes me mad at Michael Jordan. I used to think he was something, but now I'm thinking he's a piece of crap. And the only reason is
I knew that back in the 80s.
Michael Jordan apparently was approached by Idris Elba
Uh-huh.
about playing him in a movie about his life. And Michael Jordan said no.
I never thought I'd say this in my entire life, but thank you, Michael Jordan. Not
Really?
because I want to pass up a chance to see Idris Elba, but because I would want nothing to do to know about Michael Jordan's life. The reason Michael Jordan turned him down is not because of Idris Elba. It's because Michael Jordan does not need that many closets opened in his past. His daddy was a notorious habitual gambler and got him into so much trouble over the years. Yeah, no, thank you. I wouldn't want to see it either. Although it would probably get people to stop watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard.
No.
Yes.
Shush.
Oh, that reminds me. When we were on the donut trail up in Butler County,
Yeah.
one of the donut stops actually had two tip jars.
No way.
One and people would give tips. One jar said Amber Heard, one said Johnny Depp. Who do you believe? You put your tip in that jar, and Johnny Depp had about $15 in $1 bills and quarters and stuff in his, and Amber Heard had a piece of lint.
I was going to say, I was like, oh, please tell me.
It wasn't even close. Everybody's on Johnny Depp's side. If anything kickstarts Johnny Depp's career, it's this trial. And I got a golf clap to Johnny Depp for the unorthodox way of resurrecting his career there.
Johnny has already turned down the whole, like Disney was like, hey, we apologize.
Tough noogies.
And you want to do a Pirates movie?
No.
And Johnny's like, no.
No.
So, I don't know.
No.
Speaking of, this is my last story.
Oh, I thought that last story was your last story. Go ahead.
No. Speaking of really big surprises, guess who's coming out of the woodwork that honestly has not gotten his, first major star role since, the 70s? And even then, he wasn't really the main star, but he was the main star, if that makes any sense.
I don't know, Chris. Who is it?
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
He will be playing in a horror movie as a murdering, cannibalistic pig farmer called The Hermit.
Lou Ferrigno is an ugly putt sucker. You know that, right? He is an ugly putt chucker. I'll tell you that.
He is.
So good on him. He's getting work again. That reminds me, I got one story to tell before we wrap this up because we're 55 minutes into it. I'm ready to wrap this anyway. I'm tired. I still got a Memorial Day weekend to get back to, and so does Chris, and so does everybody else. Anyway, it came out on Twitter this past week that Winnie the Pooh, the AA...
Oh, God, we're talking about this.
Yeah. Winnie the Pooh has gone into the public domain. Not the Disney-fied version with the red shirt, but the original Winnie the Pooh has gone into the public domain in America. Some idiot is already making a horror movie based on not just a flesh-eating Winnie the Pooh, but a flesh-eating piglet as well.
Yes. Apparently the opening scene is them eating Eeyore. And Tigger's not in it because they don't own the rights to Tigger.
Yes, Tigger, I believe, was in it.
And it's supposedly about Christopher Robin goes off to college and leaves them by themselves, and apparently they just go on a murdering spree for some reason. It's called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
It's a sick, sad world. If anything tells you... Look, if you find anything of what I just said over the past minute and a half appealing, y'all need Jesus, okay? Y'all need the good news of Jesus, and y'all just need to just turn away from this wicked world, this this cruel earth, and just y'all need Jesus. Okay, so
Like who literally would sit there and be like, "Oh, this is going to be public domain. Let's do a horror movie. Let's take Winnie the Pooh and turn him into a killer."
here's the odd thing: it can actually be made to work
Oh.
because hold on, Alice in Wonderland went into the public domain a couple of decades ago. It had a horror video game made of it. Do you remember American McGee's Alice?
No.
You need to look it up. Check out some play along videos of it sometime. It is a surreal look. Forget about the Disney version, okay? Because Disney's version is well locked under copyright for years to come. But it takes the idea of Alice in Wonderland. It turns Wonderland extremely dark and turns it into a grown-up, adult-style splatterfest, basically. Everybody's not goofy like the Disney movie. Everybody's wicked or evil. So everybody is some degree of psychotic because Alice is actually suffering a breakdown. And so her visions of all these characters have become brutalized. Check it out, American McGee Alice. It's MCGEE, American McGee's Alice, and there was a follow-up. I can't remember the name of the follow-up, but it did not quite. I don't think it quite impressed as much as the first one did. It was an interesting exercise, and I've seen some videos of it. I've never played the game because, quite frankly, I'm not a big fan of splatter stuff, whether it's movies or games or anything else. But it is an interesting take on a pre-existing IP. It's one of the rare examples I've seen of somebody who's been able to reinvent an IP and do it right. So this would be like the anti-Rescue Rangers. So, and we just bring it back full circle. See how that goes. So, Chris, you got any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Nope. That's it.
He's not thinking anymore, and quite frankly, I'm not getting paid for this either, so I ain't going to bother to think anymore. So, until next time, this is Spike.
And this is Chris.
And we were Geeking Out. We'll see you all next week. And remember, the countdown to Geeking Out 200 starts now. Yes, we by the end of the year, we will have 200 episodes in the tank, in the bag, in a shoebox, buried in the back under the Rose of Sharon. We'll see y'all next time. Ta, y'all.
So.